In case you missed it, or you just need a loving slap upside your fine young assets again, episode 12 is a redrop of the OYverfed and Undermoved episode because it may just be the most important message of all 12-ish episodes thus far. Almost everyone needs it, whether they want to admit it or not. Listen, apply, repeat. You're welcome.
Looking for more joy and less OY? Of course you are! If you're ready for simple, tiny tweaks, not giant leaps, to your eats, your moves, your peeps, your beliefs, and your life, you are in the right place. Each episode will leave you moving, feeling, and looking even more incredible while keeping the oysters at bay. And I'm not referring to the bivalve mollusks. Here's your host, the queen of more joy and less OY, Beth Ann Wellness Weiss.
Welcome there, Joyster, and soon-to-be fellow Joysters. I hope you're ready, because this episode is going to give you the abso-freaking-lutely much-needed slap upside your fine young or fine old assets. Your doctor, your favorite politician, the influencer of the moment, or even your mirror won't give you. They won't tell you because, truth be known, there is no money to be made from it. But I am not afraid to go there. I love to help my peeps, and this won't cost you a freaking penny. Do they still make pennies? In the last episode, we tackled your bedtime battles and gave those sleepless nights a bedtime story worth telling. 12-ish tiny tweaks to your sleeps. And guess what? One of the biggest sleepy time oysters was, can you remember? Overeating. Yep. The I just need a little snack before bed routine that is not only ruining your Z's, but it's causing dozens of hypokinetic diseases that you may already be inflicted with. No worries, sister or brother. We will be elaborating on some of these ailments and offering tiny tweaks to prevent and even cure them. But it goes way deeper than a late night nosh. We're overfeeding ourselves into fatigue, inflammation, and illness, all while moving less than ever. And this, my sweet cheeks, is what's draining the joy and stacking the OY. Do any of these sound familiar? When I turned 50, this belly just appeared out of nowhere. I don't even eat that much. Oh, yeah, right, sister or brother. I see you. Or maybe you say, I can't take the stairs because my knees hurt. Which actually should be, you don't take the stairs and so your knees hurt. Or how about this one? I'm comfy on the couch, but everything hurts when I try to move. Well, listen up there, Buttercup. It's time to stop the blame game. Every week there's a new poison culprit of the moment. It's gluten, it's salt, it's dairy, it's plastic, it's Wi-Fi, it's emotional baggage from a mean camp counselor in the 4th grade. And what do? We buy into the next guru peddling pricey potions and magic patches like they've cracked the freaking code. You've gone organic, dairy-free, gluten-free, salt-free, carb-free, joy-free. You stocked up on the oils, spend $10,000 on blankets that you lay on, and suddenly you are ailment-free. And you're still dealing with gut and butt issues, joint pain, and more jiggles than you bargained for. The question is, how is that working out for you? Pause, pace, and ponder that question. Go ahead, take 5 minutes, move your assets side to side, upside down, round and round, lift your arms, lift everything, lift your chin, look up to the stars, and then come back and meet me here. I know I've got you engaged and intrigued and ready to punt my assets into the cornfield of OY right now, but let's get real. The modern epidemic isn't just about toxins or trauma. It's the truth you don't want to admit. You ready for this one? Can I get a mic drop, please? You eat way too much and move way too little to warrant that feasting as if there's a famine coming. Boy, oh boy, do I see you. And by pure observation, people are piling their plates like they're prepping for the apocalypse, but can't walk from the car to a store without moaning and groaning and blame it all on age and menopause and bad knees and hormones, yada, yada, yada. And boy, I thought I could chow down, but then I observed people all around me at events and at restaurants and in my own house. And I am completely blown away by the vast quantities of food that people could devour. And I know that these peeps are not heading to Zumba or partaking in a digestion walk afterwards like me. Furthermore, they're probably going to binge watch and plots the rest of the evening. Bad move for many, many reasons. And hey, I am not judging. I have been there. At 60-ish years young now, I know I am the epitome of health to most people, but I've devoured entire cakes.
I want cake.
And once in a while, I still do. Yes, I confess. Hello, frosting obsession. I've fantasized about Chinese buffets and cruise buffets for days before I actually embarked. I gained weight just looking at food, and I was riddled with jiggly parts and chronic oohs and ahs from head to toe. I even sought counseling at 18-ish for an eating disorder, talking binging and purging with a male therapist. Not exactly the highlight of teen life, but stay tuned for Tweak Your Purpose episode, because something he told me back then, and I had no clue what he was talking about, stuck with me, and it is the greatest advice to share with your clueless kids and possibly you. And you already know from my prior episodes that I battled chronic fatigue, chronic dizziness, balance OY, back surgery, fibromyalgia, you name it, and of course the rotisserie chicken feet, which I was born with, that I deal with every day. Back in my oyster days, I tossed, I turned, I marinated in regret till sunrise. Let's be honest, I wasn't just sleepless, I was stuffed with food, stuffed with frustration, and probably a little drinky poo or two. And I paid for it with chronic pain, fatigue, digestive drama, and yes, more jiggly areas than I knew what to do with. I ate too much, I moved too little, and I denied it all. Even though back then I was teaching Jane Fonda style aerobics clad with the headband, the leg warmers, and of course the thong on the outside of my lycra spandex. But that was only about 3 hours out of 168 hours per week. I did the math for you. There are 168 hours in a week. Point being that I was horizontal most of my waking hours because I was so ill. And I never realized how much food I was eating and how little I was moving. No wonder I was laden with so many issues. And this was in my 20s and 30s. As you know, I tiny tweaked my moves, my eats, my life, my peeps, and at almost 60, I am an almost fully recovered oyster. I love that. I'm more fit and more joyful, more peaceful than ever, and I'm getting better every day, well, except for the rotisserie chicken feet. And I use my feet as a reason to move more rather than an excuse to move less. And I eat way less than I used to. But I still love to eat, don't get me wrong. I will eat a cake if it's in the house. I drink wine, which of course I'm doing right now because I'm standing here. But now I move, or at least I stand, at least half of my waking hours. So do the math there, sweet cheeks. Let's say you sleep 8 hours, right? You're awake 16. Even if you are one of those 10,000 steps a day super athletes, I know about that, that's equivalent to less than 2 hours of movement. Pause, pace, and absorb that. So what the heck are you doing the other 14 hours a day? Besides feasting whilst plotting on your assets. But you know what? Even if you're doing 10,000 steps, you're still way ahead of most of our population who moves less than 5,000 steps a day. Seriously. Newsflash. Your metabolism isn't broken. Your movement is. And because you did not heed the 10-ish-year-old warning from my book, Move Your Assets from the Chair, Not the Bank, which I published in 2015, drumroll please, and I announced the 11th commandment, thou shalt move thy fine young assets and eat less crap. I'm going to have to call in the big guns to give you that much-needed slap upside your assets that are still in denial. Okay, here you go, sis or bro. It's time for a 900-ish-year-old wake-up call from the godfather of preventative medicine himself, who warned us of the dangers of overeating. I give you the undeniable wake-up call that this person figured out before tofu, TikTok, and treadmills. Circa 1135, the legendary physician, philosopher, glute activator and rabbi Maimonides, aka the Rambam, Maimo to me because we're kind of like on a nickname basis now. He said, overeating is equivalent to ingesting poison. Pause, pace, ponder, and absorb the profundity of that statement. 900-ish years ago. Go ahead, I'll wait. Not bad food, not processed food, just too much food. And he didn't stop there. Maimo continued. He said, as long as a person exercises, well, we'll say moves because no one really does the latter anymore, sickness does not befall him. But one who is idle, even if he eats healthy foods, his days will be full of ailment. So in other words, you cannot quinoa your way out of the damage caused by your couch. And he said this in a time when people actually moved. There were no cars. They hauled water, they churned butter, they did their own gardening, they didn't go to the supermarket and chased goats, and they didn't click buttons and complain about walking from the car to the store. Can you imagine what he would say now when he sees us binge watching while door dashing dumplings and avoiding the stairs like they're lava? Think about how if we applied this 900-ish year old wisdom today, our lives would be so much more joyful and less oyful. And we wouldn't be ridden with all these hypokinetic ailments. Yeah, I'm getting there. Give me a minute. If your I really don't eat that much assets are still clinging to denial, get ready. We're about to dive into the hypokinetic ailments you're literally earning with every excuse and every couch-bound hour. Still not a believer that you eat way too much and simultaneously move way too little? Well, here you go, sister. Or brother. Time for a little vocab, Joyster style. Hypo means too little and kinetic means movement. Put it together and you got some diseases caused by sitting on your assets rather than moving them. And I bet you could rattle off a few. And there are literally dozens. And if you can't, let me help you out. Let's take a walk together and discuss, shall we? First of all, back problems. What's great about back problems, and I've been there and so has most of the population, it's a warning that something is brewing inside. Remember, pain is a warning to pay attention inside now. And if you indeed have back issues, it is almost certain that other hypokinetic diseases are brewing. So let's name a few. Type 2 diabetes, osteoporosis, osteoarthritis, heart disease, obesity, aka jiggly areas, some cancers, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, depression, anxiety, chronic pain, fibromyalgia, constipation. Oh yeah, that food has to go somewhere. My doctor actually referred to these as man-made diseases. Peeps, this is not a salt problem. So when your doctor says, cut sodium, try saying lovingly, hey doc, why not tell me to cut the crap instead? Because here's the real combo nobody wants to admit. Overeating plus undermoving equals self-inflicted slow death. And yes, I see you ordering lunch, doing nails, playing words with friends rather than walk with friends, but you are here with me for a great reason. And if you're one of the many people who tell me that they are more afraid of walking upstairs than chowing down a humongous plate of food, you should be way more concerned about the damage done from overeating. Notice I say concerned rather than afraid. No fear allowed here. Let's dive into what your overeating is doing to your overworked digestive system. First of all, your stomach is constantly stretched and strained trying to digest the feast that you feed it, and it has to consistently call upon gastric juices and enzymes for help. Help!
Yes, help me, please.
Can you say reflux, heartburn, and other stomach upsets? Duh. Yeah, many popping of Tums back in my buffet days, so I can relate. Second of all, your intestines are so sluggish and overloaded and unable to eliminate waste efficiently. And oh my gosh, think about where that stuff goes. Can you say smelly sewer? I don't want to go too TMI on you here, but just think about that. And your gallbladder, your liver, your kidneys, aka your filters, are drowning in too much stuff. Sugar, fats, backup toxins, yada, yada, yada. Your poor heart and blood vessels are carrying way more than they can handle. Your brain is foggy and sluggish and inflamed. Just a little food for thought. Pun intended. I can go on, but I won't right here because I know you're going, ew. Or maybe the thought of overeating poisoning you is getting you to realize that those steps that you are concerned about are really your best buddies in the world, especially compared to overeating. In fact, climbing enhances all those energy systems that we just mentioned a few minutes ago, especially your muscular skeletal system. You know, that includes your core and all your 650-ish other skeletal muscles, including those disappearing assets of yours, which we will be restoring soon. And of course, your bones, your heart, your brain, everything. And get this, mic drop moment, please. There is no such thing as a hyperkinetic disease list. Let me repeat that for the skeptics way in the back. No ailment, no syndrome, no itis comes from walking too often, parking too far, standing too long, or taking the stairs. And you can revisit episode 4, Pain is a Gift, to learn more about those chronic oohs and ahs and some amazing tiny tweaks for them. I have another little question for you. Guess what does reverse or even prevent every single ailment we have mentioned so far? Yep, moving more and eating less. Simple, free, and completely in your control. So, if you've ever searched for the closest parking spot, taken the escalator whilst armed with your $8 mocha chocolate yaya, you've asked to be dropped off in front of the store, you've feared stairs more than your blood pressure meds, or you've scheduled lunch dates but not walk dates, well then yes, you are overdue for some tiny tweaks, but here is the great news. You can reverse it.
Really?
You're not too old, it's not too late, and you don't need a gym, a guru, or a green sludge in a blender. So now that I got your panties all in a wad, it's time for me to be my usual sweet as yummy peanut butter pie self. Here are 12-ish tiny tweaks that are totally doable, totally free, and let's start the party right now. Tiny tweak takeaway number 1. Cut one meal in half, preferably dinner. Start now. I promise you will not starve. Tiny tweak takeaway number 2. Take a digestion walk after every meal, especially dinner, and at least 10 minutes. Tiny tweak takeaway number 3. Park far, far away on purpose. Do not look for the closest spot. Tiny tweak takeaway number 4. Always take at least one flight of stairs. Tiny tweak takeaway number 5. Stand while scrolling and save your joints. Tiny tweak takeaway number 6. Get a freaking standing desk. You can get one for under $200, or stack boxes and make a makeshift one. Tiny tweak takeaway number 7. Squeeze your glutes right now and all the time like you're pinching a fragile egg between your cheeks. Yes, those cheeks. Tiny tweak takeaway number 8. Walk while you talk. Yes, on the phone. Tiny tweak takeaway number 9. Skip the drive-thru and walk in the freaking store. Tiny tweak takeaway number 10. Return your freaking shopping cart like a joyster and wagon for us New Yorkers. Tiny tweak takeaway number 11. Revisit episode 3 for 12-ish tiny tweaks to move, feel, and look even more amazing. Tiny tweak takeaway number 12. Use that brilliant brain and booty of yours to come up with your own tiny tweak. Right now, you got this. And notice there are no ish tweaks and no bonus tweaks because I know you've had enough of me today. This episode was a lot to pause, pace, and ponder. But listen to me, you are not broken. Your metabolism isn't broken. Your muscles just miss you. Your joy is waiting one tweak at a time. And hey, if you want me to personally escort you to your next doctor's appointment and ask, why are we reducing salt, taking pills, but not moving more and eating less. Reach out to me. I love doing that, seriously. Oh, and if this wasn't a kick in the ass that's enough, just wait till the next episode when you partake in the Am I a Lazy Cow quiz, which I actually borrowed from my book, Move Your Assets from the Chair, Not the Bank. Shameless little plug, of course. And it's the only quiz you will want to fail because failure equals freedom from hypokinetic OY. Until next time, please move more, eat less, tweak with joy, and give that OY the freaking boot it deserves. Thank you so much for joining me. Even if one tiny tweak has inspired you, I invite you to subscribe to the podcast and share it with anyone you know who could use a little more joy and a lot less OY in their lives, and who can't. Feel free to reach out to me. Visit my website at bethanwellness.com and find me on Facebook at Bethan Wellness, and feel free to email me at bethan@moveyourassets.com. I would love to hear from you.